Hi, thanks for joining me on Wilderness with Amani. I'm at Saddlebag Lake and I got my boat in the water. I've wanted to do this for 2 years and I'm finally doing it. And if I can get my motor started, because it's been sitting in my storage closet for months now, not being used, and with gas in it, we'll figure it out. I'm going to go out there. I got jigs, I got rapalas, I got lead core line and a variety of lures to pull behind that. So if I don't sink, we'll be good. My boat's leaking. I just put it in the water and one of the seams is leaking. So it isn't bad. And I have a pump inside of there so I can just pump it up as I'm going, because I could easily just hook my pump up when it gets low and jack it back up, and then I'll patch it when I get home. And my boat's like 15 years old, man. So the seams are getting a little worn. So all I got to do is just patch that up, but I obviously can't do it right now. So I'm going with a pump in a leaking boat. So if disaster strikes and you recover this camera, just play this part where I'm knowingly and willingly going out with a leaking boat. But that's not even bad. I mean, that's so little air to the pressure that's in there, and the two pontoons are separate, so there's no way I'm sinking. So I'm going to head out, I'm going to do some trolling, and I'm going to do some jig fishing, and that's what I'm going to do today. And I don't know if I'm going to catch anything. I'm going to try. I have 2 Saddlebag Lake clips, and both of them were me just running down here either early in the morning or before it gets dark to make a few casts. And when the lake was lower, I saw some really big rainbows, and I hooked one of them in the channel by the dam, so I know there's big fish in here. So let's get out on the water. The sun's already on the lake. I got up here, I drove straight here and got my boat in the water and got out. So let's go out and just get a line in the water and see if we can do some good. I'll be yanking on this thing about 30 pulls, man. Come on! Come on! Come on! Looks like we're in business. Let's go to the dam and let's go get started here. Woo! Beautiful out here. Breeze is coming up. That's going to be good for jig fishing, but not too much. I want to get to the dam because there's that channel I know is really deep. Alright, so I'm starting with this woolly bugger behind a Dodger. I'm using Suffix lead core line. Regular lead core line typically sinks 5 feet per color. This Suffix line sinks 7 feet per color. And I've wanted to fish these woolly buggers behind a Dodger for a while. I've tried it, but I usually quit really quick. I usually don't troll that long, because I'm just not very good at it. I don't have any electronics and stuff, so I'm gonna go ahead and get this line out there. I couldn't find that channel in front of the dam. It's really shallow on both sides of it, and it's thin. So I've only got one color out. I'm only like 7 feet down. I'm not even that far behind my boat. I wanna get over to that deep shoreline over there, and then I wanna run about 2 colors and see if something happens there. But the water's cold. Even though it's not that cold, it's barely above freezing at night. Sometimes this time of year it can be as cold as 20 degrees at night. So it's a lot warmer, and it's gonna be in the 60s today. But the water's ice cold. So I'm gonna get my line down, I'm gonna get over there, and we're gonna see if we can get something. Like I said, this is the weakest part of my game, trolling. But I got jigs, I got other things. So we're gonna get some stuff done today. If you're someone who rents boats at lakes, if you just buy a rod like this, a bait casting rod, throw a reel, some lead core line, just go on YouTube, figure out different ways people rig up. You can really expand your game and get your money's worth out of your boat rental, because that way you have more options. You know, and then I have my Lake Tahoe rod. I can throw out a countdown Rapala or a regular Rapala and troll with that. And then I got my jig, so there's several things I can do. But if you purchase a rod like this and then you just rent a boat from time to time, you don't have to hassle with a boat, and then you can still go out and troll. In the summer, you can hit those 30-foot depths, you know, and catch some fish. So something to think about. I usually troll a needlefish behind these Dodgers, but all I ever get from that are fish that are under 16 inches. So I'm gonna try a couple longer shots today, throwing a Rapala behind the Dodger, seeing if that does anything. You know, I'm just gonna try some, I'm just gonna do some experimenting today. Today is a day of experimentation. Man, that creek edge is a bust. It's like a foot deep. I need more than a foot to work with when I'm in my boat. So I'm gonna go find some deep water, and then I'm gonna get out in this wind, and then I'm just gonna drift. So now I motored back up into where the lake kind of hits an hourglass shape. I'm in the thin part, throw my jig out, and the wind's blowing now. So I'm gonna try drifting with this jig first, and then I'm gonna try a 1/8 ounce marabou jig down deep. But I don't think the fish are gonna be that deep because the water's cold. So I use my oar to keep my boat straight. And then I'm just gonna be chilling and cruising, and hopefully something picks up this jig. I've been drifting with this jig for a while, and I'm not getting anything. So far, my dreams of Saddlebag Lake and my boat have not panned out. I figured nobody goes out there on a boat. God, I've been fishing for hours. I finally found some fish by the dam. Nothing trolling. There he is, little rainbow. And I keep missing hits. They're aggressively hitting it. There's fish hanging out by this dam. There's a river channel right there. So I'm gonna go back, and the wind's blowing me right along this dam, the dam wall. It's blowing me right along this dam, and I'm just kind of brushing up against it. It's really smooth vinyl cover. So I'm gonna go back to that corner and then blow back along. And I'll show you what I was doing. So the river channel's right out there, and you can see it's the one deep spot. It's not a very deep dam area, but I'm letting the wind blow, and I'm just going along, and I'm getting hits from smaller fish, and that's why I'm having trouble setting the hook. I mean, they're being aggressive, and I'm just kind of blowing right along this damn wall. Just working this river channel, and I'm getting small fish. I mean, I know there's big fish in here. I hooked a fish when the lake was low, but over here that was pretty darn large. And I'm trying to drift by this river channel and let my jig sink down into it. And it's hard because it's really narrow. It's only like 3 feet wide. You can see it down there. Because I saw it when there was low water. It's right here. It gets dark right here. So I'm letting it sink down there, and I'm hoping I can pick up something big in there. But I don't know how much longer I'm going to sit. I've been out in my boat for hours now, and I'm just floundering out here. God, I saw such a nice brook trout swimming by, and I just could not get him to bite it. All I'm getting are these little rainbows. And it was a nice brookie. It was like a nice, you know, 12, 14 incher. And there you go, it's a little rainbow. He was swimming as my boat was going, and I could look down, and he was going right the same speed as me, and I was jigging my jig, and he just wouldn't take it. I think drifting here is going to be the end for me today, because I'm trolling all around. I didn't see any fish get any bites. I'm seeing multiple fish just swimming right by under my boat. They're all small except for that one brookie that was pretty nice. And then I saw one small, what looked like a brookie, feeding like right on the dam, on like something that's on the dam. I don't know what that was. Haven't seen anything big yet. Certainly haven't caught it. So far, This has been a bust. There's definitely fish here. That's why I'm staying. They're small, but you know, they're starting to show up. It's getting a little later, so hopefully we can start getting some fish. There we go, a little tiny rainbow. All right, this is Small Fish Central, and I got some sausages to cook up. All right, caught something trolling. I threw out a Rapala, and there it was. And I said I was gonna quit. I didn't quit. I came over here and did some trolling, some fish of the day. Whoa, I almost lost my rod right there. My rod was caught up in my net, and I just almost lost my rod. Let me deal with this. All right, now I'm okay. Let's get this guy off. These barbless hooks should pop right out. All right, hands wet. It's a nice fish. Beautiful rainbows. Got all his fins, probably natural, to some extent. Let me get him in. So I got that fish just trolling a Rapala like this, and I'm trolling this scatter rat Rapala thing that has a wider lip that I bought by accident, so I'm using it. Oh man, my camera wasn't on. I just hooked a nice brook trout trolling. Check that guy out. That's a nice brookie. Good fish right there. I'm gonna go make another pass. I had already quit over by the dam, and then I decided to come and troll a little bit. Now that I'm catching fish, I'm gonna make a few passes. Any kind of swim bait that dives, has a big lip on it that dives down and can get you 10 to 15 feet of depth without having to have anything except for just a spinning rod, works pretty good. I always carry stuff like that. I got my lead core, of course, but this is a lot simpler. The evening's coming, the sunlight's down, and the fish are biting, so we'll see if we can't nail something. I'm getting hits on this Rapala left and right, man. They're missing it. So hopefully I can get something good in the net. And it is settling one after another. This guy's little. But I'm catching fish. And there seems to be some brookies over here, so I'm gonna make another pass. Got him. There we go, nice little brook trout. That's really good for an alpine lake, not so great for a big lake like this. Forget dinner, I'm catching fish trolling now. It seems to be working. I just put gas in my motor. Oh, he got off. He got off. Oh well. I'm going to make another pass. Let's go. I just filled my tank with gas. It's time to make some passes. We got some sun left. I'm hungry, but man, I've had a really rough day today. So let's catch some fish, man. Those killer mountains. And this one shoreline seems to be the one that's producing, so I'm gonna keep trolling this Rapala and see if I can't hook something big as it starts to get a little darker. Now that I got a full tank of gas because I was running out, I can fish as long as I want, which may not be the best thing for me. Because next you know, I'm out here with my headlamp. This is it. The final run. I gotta get squared away for tonight. Dinner, sleeping, whatever I gotta do. I already was gonna quit when I was at the dam, and that was over an hour ago. So, but the fish are biting left and right, man. What do you want me to do? Well, I'm in and it's dinner time, and man, for the first like 3 hours I was out there, the fishing sucked with a capital S. I trolled lead core, I trolled Rapalas, I did everything, nothing, not a hit, nothing. And drifted jigs, nothing. And then I went over to the dam, got those couple little rainbows. If it wasn't for that nice brookie that I failed to turn the camera on for the fight, but at least I was able to show it to you, today would have been a really big disappointment. I mean, getting my boat down and packing it up and sleeping with it and stuff, it's a huge production. But it worked out, I figured it out, and once it got a little later in the evening, you know, they started just whacking that Rapala. And that scatter Rapala does like these weird circles and moves all over the place. So I really like that. I bought it 2 years ago and didn't like it, and I just never used it until today. and now I'm going to start trolling with it all the time. But I hope you enjoyed this. I've been waiting to get my boat on Saddlebag Lake for 2 years now. I finally did. I didn't get the big fish I was hoping for. But that's okay. That's why I got to come back next year. So I hope you enjoyed this day on my boat out on Saddlebag Lake, jig fishing and trolling. And the one thing I didn't do is drift fish with bait, which is really productive. I usually drift fish with night crawlers and power bait, and I usually can whack a bunch of fish, but I just didn't want to keep any fish on this trip. So thank you for joining me on Wilderness with Monty. Until next time.